mosquitoes. Hi guys, it's Vanessa from Wander Onwards, and today we're coming to you from the beautiful land of Tulum. Located in the Yucatan Peninsula, Tulum is like the Bali of Mexico. There's surf, there's beaches, and there's incredible, healthy, raw vegan, whatever you might want, food. So for the last week, I've been going through Tulum city center along with some of the beach resorts, trying to bring you a better depiction of what this incredible place is like, and you might be surprised. Tulum's popularity amongst Americans has skyrocketed over the last 5 years. With incredible local food at affordable prices and rich Mexican culture all around, what's not to love? In this video, I'm going to cover the different Tulum scenes, beach resort hopping, scams to look out for, a recommended packing list, and so much more. So in Tulum, there are two different types of vibes, if you will. First, you have the Instagrammable beach resort kind of lifestyle, and these can be a pretty penny. So the average cost of these resorts that we attended for like beach time, drinks, lunch, they started at almost $800 per night. Now this is not all inclusive, so if you want to get your Instagram game on, there's definitely a price to pay. Sure, everyone's so friendly and the food is absolutely to die for. You can get raw, vegan, gluten-free smoothies, whatever you want, but be prepared to pay for it. Or the second sort of lifestyle is the center of Tulum sort of hippie beach vibe. So these types of people are people who enjoy riding their bike everywhere. Maybe, we've definitely seen some more like alternative vibes and people, and it seems like the people who are here in the city are much more down to earth. So the hotels in the city center of Tulum, if you can call it a city center, range from £80 to about 200, I want to say. And this is going to get you a decent room, maybe a rooftop pool like we have here, and you'll meet much more normal people in the city center. I want to say that the people and the vibes at the resorts are much more luxury, wealthy. Think Soho House people. Not to knock Soho House, I too have frequented there. Maybe we'll be getting a subscription to surround myself with like-minded people. But still, you're gonna want to know what sort of vibe you're looking for before you come here and invest your money in something that you didn't necessarily expect. Let's talk about the currency exchange. After consulting with my travel expert, the wonderful Marcus, #GetYouAMarcus, we determined that the best policy for charging a debit card and credit card abroad is to use your own bank provider's currency exchange rate. So what that means is when you're shopping in a little mercado or paying in a restaurant, you want them to charge you in pesos. So then the currency exchange rate is determined by your bank or provider. If you allow them to exchange it into USD, GBP, whatever, they get to determine what that exchange rate is, and that might be less than ideal. You don't want to give these vendors the opportunity to determine the exchange rate because they're going to mark it up on you. So play it safe. Support this channel by giving this video a thumbs up or leave a question in the comments section. I always respond back. Okay, so I posted on Instagram what sort of questions you wanted me to answer, so I have them right here. First, all the food looks great. How did you find good, authentic places? So I actually buy Lonely Planets now for every country I go to, and I try to become more educated about what's going on there, both historically, in current politics. I really want to know what's happening on the ground before I get there. So in the Lonely Planets, there are very specific recommendations about restaurants and what's more local and authentic, and I drop pins on Google Maps after I read these locations and then download the offline map. I also tend to meet random strangers while we travel, and I'm always asking questions and opinions about where I should go eat and what I should do, and then I follow that up by Googling what the recommendations are based off of Google Maps, and I look at the pictures of the food to make sure it is visually appealing, the sizing is all right, and I look for little nuances like local people in the background of these pictures. Is there live music? What do the plates look like? So lots of research is done before I get there. Another question. How easy is the beach club hopping? Is it easy to tell who lets in non-guests? So it is not very clear about who is allowed in from the outside of the resort. So there's this main highway. Highway is generous, more like a road. It's a dirt road that they're still building, and you can only go like 10 kilometers an hour on it because it's so rickety, there's so much dust. Not great. So from the outside, these resorts look like nothing. You have to do your research beforehand online to see what sort of resorts are for you. Then I would recommend calling them to see if they have a front door charge. So Casa Malca, the Pablo Escobar resort that we went to, that I'll be uploading photos and videography to this video later. They had a 1,000 peso charge per person, but then you got to spend that 1,000 pesos on food, drinks, whatever you want. That cover got you in to use the facilities, to use their Instagrammable locations, and actually it was quite fair in my opinion because we had an outstanding lunch on the beachfront and then we got to enjoy the spaces as well. The second place that we went to, Nomad, that place actually had no charge, but they had a special rule that we couldn't bring in our big camera because apparently people signed contracts there to not be photographed, and it's a whole thing. I thought it was particularly bizarre though that everything was so Instagrammable when they wouldn't allow these big DSLRs or mirrorless cameras in, but that's a different story. So while there was no cover charge, everything started at 200 pesos minimum. I paid 240 pesos for a raw vegan smoothie, and it just went up from there. That particular hotel was about $1,000 per night with no food or drinks included, so you can kind of imagine the clientele that's going to be there. We saw quite a few people walking alongst the beaches, hopping from one beach club to another, but I think the best way to go about beach hopping or beach resort hopping is by going to the front of the one you want to start at and then eating and drinking your way through there. A cheap way to do this is to order mocktails or sparkling waters or agua frescas, and then you can enjoy the beach without paying $40 up front. Another question. Prices for outing. Is it reasonable? Can you haggle? So you cannot haggle when you're going to these official restaurants or resorts. The only place you can really haggle is at the mercados when you're buying souvenirs and little trinkets for home. There's quite a few 7-Elevens, so our strategy was to buy drinks at the 7-Eleven, have some up here like we're currently doing now. Ta-da! And we actually brought this alcohol from our prior all-inclusive resort and then just bought Coke and had ice here at the hotel. Soda for drinks or anything like that is going to be around $1.50 per liter. Then if you want to buy beer or hard liquors, that's going to be another $1.50 to $5. It's quite reasonable to party out here, but once you get into the clubs or the beach resorts, you're going to see an immediate jump. If you want to stay within the affordable range of $1 to like $4 for alcohol, I don't know. I don't really drink that much. I barely go outside. Let's be honest. All right, another question. Taxis, Uber. So we actually rented a car to come out here, so we did not pay a taxi to bring us out here. It's about 1 hour and 30 minutes by car from the Cancun airport, so I would have no idea what to expect. I genuinely don't know. I do know that I paid £90 for our car for a whole week, and then we're paranoid, so we added additional third-party insurance. So all in all, for a car for 1 week was $200. For me, that's pretty fair. And then once you're in Tulum, you can cycle, you can walk everywhere. It's pretty easy to get around, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Drunk cycling is not always recommended. I had a little bicycle crash in Denmark recently where I bent my bike. Not great. Wouldn't recommend drunk cycling. Would recommend getting your hotel to organize you a taxi for wherever you need to go. Or potentially, if you're leaving a beach resort after partying, get them to organize the taxi. So then you can pay the most reasonable price. When coming to Tulum, there are a few helpful hints for your packing list. First of all, bring bug spray. These mofos are that big and they will eat you alive. If you were part of my Instagram trip during my time here in Tulum, you'll know that I'm actually quite allergic to bugs and mosquito bites specifically. So I ended up getting a golf ball on my arm from a particular bite that I had a unusual strong reaction to. These mosquitoes do not mess around. Please, please, please bring your bug spray. If not, there are actually loads of pharmacies around here, so you can buy bug spray once you're here. But just for your peace of mind, get the strong stuff, get the stuff with DEET. Do not go organic with these guys because they are not playing around. And be sure you put some thought into what type of bug spray that you're bringing. Number 2, sunscreen. The sun is relentless here. You do not want to burn your skin. You do not want to have sun damage. I wear sunscreen every single day of my life, at least on my face. On my body, I'm a little bit less serious about it, but bug. Mosquitoes. Flip-flops. So there's quite a lot of dirt. The cities are not well paved, I want to say. So be sure that your flip-flops or chanclas or what are these called? Birkenstock. Love me some Birkenstock. Make sure that you pack these and that you can walk in these because you will be cycling, you will be walking. The cenotes are actually quite rocky, so that is going to need a separate shoe if you want to be snorkeling and diving. In these particular cenotes, you want a water shoe and not a flip-flop.
A hat.
Hats. Sun protection is your best friend. You don't want to wrinkle, okay, girl? You want to bring a hat, you want to bring even a baseball cap at the very, very minimum. Sunglasses are quite important. And if you're going to be driving here, you want to bring your sunglasses that are either polarized or have your particular prescription because you really don't want to mess up out here. We saw loads of people being pulled over for driving incorrectly or maybe over the speed limit. Here's a tip. Do not go over the speed limit, as ridiculous as it might be. So around the Tulum area, the speed limit was like 50 kilometers, which we thought was super low for this sort of area and way of life. And the reason is, we think it's a speed trap. So we saw loads of people being pulled over. The police were being checked, or the police were checking their IDs and their driving license. And I assume that this is a way for Tulum to make money, to catch these foreigners speeding above 50 kilometers and extracting money from them in some way to pay for things in this city. Do not fall for it. Go slow, be patient. You have nowhere to be. You're on vacation. So the food here in Tulum is incredible. But if you want to have the Western sort of vegan raw experience, be prepared to pay normal Western prices. I paid like $8 for a smoothie and I felt dumb. That's more than London. If you want to eat locally, the quality is also incredible. Everything is fresh made, everything is caught locally. You have a little senora in the middle of the restaurant making your tortillas fresh that day. So you don't really need to go and explore the Italian restaurant or the pizza restaurant down the road because there's definitely something safe and easy to access in the local markets and local eateries as well. So far, the ice has been also quite safe. They have these jugs of water that are fresh and not from the local taps. They know it will make the foreigners sick, and if the foreigners leave, then they won't come back and make money. So, no need to ask for special filtered ice. You can if you want. I'm not really sure how I would express that, but up to your discretion. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to get notified about new videos every week.